Cold Candle by Emma Rampy. It was a rainy, drowsy morning, the day before Halloween, and the students in Mrs. Sell's homeroom were taking a test. Charles was on his second-to-last question when the ding of a phone alert sounded loudly. The children's heads went up in unison as Mrs. Sells yelled, "Everybody, put your things away." Charles heard the sound of closing books and his scurrying classmates. Thoughts raced in his mind as he shoved his unfinished test in his bag. Mrs. Sells shouted to the children, "Hide, hide, behind the cubbies!" Charles then watched as she turned off the lights, closed the blinds, locked the doors, and finally blew out the fall-scented candle on her desk. Everyone, crowded and hiding, waited for what they knew not. After a few moments in the still of the now darkened space, the students of room 119 heard again the teacher's voice. "Today, we are having a red lockdown, boys and girls," said Mrs. Sells, her voice trembling as she tried to sound calm. "This is not a drill. Somebody has come into our school looking for things to steal and kids to take." Charles could sense the worry of his classmates, like a chill that hung in the air. He felt shivers down his stiff spine. A deeper silence settled over the now empty desk as each moment of that wretched hour crept slowly past. After what seemed like an eternity, it came. The sounds of footsteps. Loud, foreboding footsteps. Then a knock. Not a petite tap on the solid wooden door, but a thud, as if from a horror movie. Charles felt every student jump as his heart dropped to his toes. Muffled screams seeped out from behind the children's hiding place. The intruder yelled for the door to be unlocked, but no one stirred. They moved not a muscle. Suddenly, Charles nearly jumped out of his skin at the pounding of the man's fist. Bang! 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 Landed again and again on Mrs. Sell's door. Charles could see it was locked, and oh, what came next? Sweet relief. There came again the sound of footsteps, but now one and all could hear the intruder's plodding feet as they stomped away. But then they were back. More footsteps, louder than before, and with them came the thunder of a dreadful deep voice. "This time I will not leave. I've been drawn to this place like a magnet, to room 119, and I want you." Charles could see Mrs. Sells hiding beneath her desk, and together they waited for the intruder's next move. There was only more darkness and the terrible nothingness of not knowing. And then, suddenly, with a crash, the classroom window's glass door shattered into 1,000 jagged pieces. A mysterious hand reached down and opened the lock. The hand attached to a hideous man in black. He was on his way. He was about to push through the door. This time, he would not be stopped. As if from a nightmare, Charles awoke with a start. He jolted upright in his desk chair, alert, his eyes open as wide as saucers after what must have been only a brief nap. Ah, but there was that hand of the man in black, the one that reached in from the empty hall, out into the room over the sharp, broken shards of thick glass. Charles would for years be tormented by the memory of that awful afternoon, of the classroom candle gone cold, of the intruder who wormed his way into the cobweb-covered corner of a young boy's mind. And there he remained.